Syracuse University's Associate Director for International Admissions and Advancement. I'm here with our recent alum, Enrique Prehula, who is currently in the Philippines to help me talk about students' life on campus. Enrique, do you want to say hi before I start my presentation?
Yes, of course. Hi, guys. I'm Enrique Ramon Perhula. I'm a graduate from the class of 2023. I studied business analytics and supply chain management in the Whitman School of Management. Right now, I'm actually back in the Philippines working here with PNA Grant Thornton. But before everything, before Syracuse, I was a high school student here in Ateneo de Manila as well.
Perfect. Thank you so much. So let me start by giving you an overview about our university. Probably we'll start with the location. So Syracuse University is located in upstate New York. It's easy distance driving from bigger cities like New York City, Boston, Washington. You can being in upstate, you'll get a chance to experience 4 seasons. So you'll have the chance to experience the fall, you have the spring, the winter, and the summer as well. So each activities will help you to integrate to the community easily. And at Syracuse University, we have great inter and intra-city transportation. You can easily go to bigger cities by bus. We have train station, and we also have our own international airport, which is the Syracuse Airport. Then at Syracuse University, we do have more than 200 majors and 100 minors to choose from, divided into 10 undergraduate colleges. We have our School of Architecture, which is one of the oldest architecture in the nation, and currently number 4, number 5, it's always within top 5 in the US. It's a 5-year degree program that will lead you to becoming a professional architect without the need of doing master's degree. So it's a B-Arch program. Then we have our College of Arts and Sciences, which is our liberal arts foundation, where you can find humanities, social sciences. We have mathematics, natural sciences, health sciences. If you are undecided, let's say you're still not sure what to major, we can place you to the College of Arts and Sciences as undecided, and you have 2 years to figure out what are your ideal programs so we could transfer you to the professional colleges. And we have our Maxwell School, which is under the College of Arts and Sciences, but focus more on social sciences. Then, of course, we have our School of Education, which is the pioneer when it comes to inclusion movement in the US. We have our College of Engineering and Computer Science with great programs such as civil engineering, aerospace engineering, mechanical engineering, and a lot more. Then, of course, we have our sport and human dynamics, where you'll find sport management, sport analytics. We also have programs here such as nutrition, health and exercise science, social work. Then, of course, our School of Information Studies. We are the pioneer of information studies in the US, and we are still the center of the research. And Rick can talk more about that. We also have our Whitman School of Management, which is what Enrique majored. So this is our business school. We are one of the top undergrad business school in the US. It's always within top 20. And then, of course, we have our Newhouse School of Public Communications. Again, Syracuse is known for public communications. When you say Newhouse in the US and worldwide, it's something that really they're looking to. And then we have our College of Visual and Performing Arts, divided into School of Arts, School of Design, Transmedia, where the film program is. We have our School of Communications and Rhetorical Studies, School of Drama. So as you can see, in these colleges, you can apply directly as undecided or directly to the professional colleges if you're sure what you want to major. Those with asterisks at the end, it means you can apply as undecided. For example, you know that you would like to be, to do something about business or become an engineer, but you don't know what to major. It's okay. You could apply as undecided under the College of Engineering, Computer Science, and then you have 2 years to declare your major. So at Syracuse University, among those colleges, there are 200 majors and 100 minors. You can easily do dual enrollment. You could do double major, a major and a minor, a couple of minors. You can easily design your own diploma. So you can create your career pathway depending on what type of job you would like to pursue. And at Syracuse University, we maintain small classes. We only have an average class size of 26 students per class to ensure the attention you need from the professors and for you to be able to express yourself. And if you join Syracuse University, you'll have your career advisor on top of your academic advisor. So each of the colleges that I mentioned earlier, they have career department. And on top of that, the university, we have our own career department as well. And that makes 93% of our recent grads, they get into graduate school or full-time employed within 6 months after graduation. Because there's a lot of career opportunities, like companies from all over the states, they come to Syracuse and recruit our students for internships. So Syracuse is a Research One university. When we say Research One, that is the highest ranking in the US for research opportunities. And there's just about 140-ish number of Research One universities in the US. So that means there's a lot of research opportunities waiting for you. We have what we call a SOURCE. It's an office for undergrad research and creativity engagement where you can become part of our research team as early as undergrad level. So you don't need to wait until you start your graduate or master's program. And on top of that, we also have our study abroad. So you have the opportunity to spend 1 semester up to 1 academic year outside the US. We have study abroad centers in the UK, we have in Italy, France, we have in San Diego and Chile as well. And aside from study abroad, we also have our study away, where some of the programs that we offer, you could spend a couple of weeks up to 1 semester, let's say in Washington, in LA, and New York City. If you're looking into shorter, let's say study abroad, just let's say for a couple of weeks in the winter or summer, we also have more than 100 programs where we do partnerships in over 60 countries. And at Syracuse University, you'll get to continue what you love doing in high school when it comes to extracurricular activities. So we have more than 350 student clubs and organizations. And Rico will talk a little bit about our Filipino Student Association on campus. So whatever activities you love on campus, whether it's sports, community service, I'm sure you can continue that and you'll find the right fit for you. So these are some of the pictures of our extracurricular activities on campus. For the first 2 years, it is mandatory for you to live on campus. So that means you'll have guaranteed residence. We have our living learning community, which is an opportunity for you to live with a group of students that share the same passion like yours. For example, we have like international living learning community where all of the students in that community are international students. We also have academics living learning communities such as psychology, living learning community, engineering. So all of those students in that particular dorm, in that floor, share the same program, share the same interests. So it's an opportunity for you. Just want to make sure you'll get along along the way with your students that are sharing room or dorms with you. And when it comes to roommate, there's a couple of options as well on how to get your roommate. If you have a friend attending at the same time with you, you can choose each other. Again, you can do the living learning community, or you could do the college roomie, where you can write down your likes and dislikes after you got admitted, then until you get your right match, and then you can choose each other. On your 3rd year, it is optional for you to stay on campus or you can move out, because by then you will be familiar to the city. You can easily look for apartments, walking distance from campus, which will be cheaper. So Syracuse University, we are on the common application and we are on the coalition. We have early decision. The deadline is on November 15. We also have a regular decision, which is the 9 binding. The deadline is January 5th. It has the same deadline with our early decision too. Unfortunately, we do not have early action. We are test optional even before COVID. So that means you do not really need to do an SAT or ACT just to apply to Syracuse University. But if you have one, I highly recommend you to check with your counselors, or you can email me off the record. I'll be more than happy to let you know whether your scores are competitive enough, because they can either help or destroy your applications. IELTS or TOEFL will be required if you're international students, but usually I can waive those because I know that English is the medium of instructions of all the schools in the Philippines, regardless if it's private or public school. Then we do offer personal interviews. It is not mandatory, but again, it's something I personally recommend students to do because it builds connection, it demonstrates your interest, and it's an opportunity for you to share more information that will be helpful when we start weighting your applications. At Syracuse, we do offer merit scholarships to international students. You do not need to apply. You will be automatically considered for merit evaluation when we start rating your application. We do offer as much as full tuition down to 10,000 US dollars. So whatever amount you received on your first year, it will be automatically renewed every year. All you need to do is to maintain the right GPA, which is required by your respective college. So that's a little bit of nutshell about Syracuse University. Let me turn this off so Enrique can talk about the student life on campus.
Let me share my screen as well. I prepared like a short presentation for the student life. Yes. So something nice about Syracuse University is the feeling of community, I would say so. And entering as a international student from Manila, I was an introvert, I would say, and it was really challenging for me to adjust to the campus. But Syracuse has the right resources for pushing yourself out of the box. And with the help of like people like Sherlyn and also the Filipino Student Association, which I'll talk about more later, that really made me adjust to the campus life, and that made me enjoy my time in Syracuse University, despite all the challenges with COVID, especially as I was a freshman when COVID happened. And luckily enough, I was also able to spend all my 8 semesters on campus, with COVID, especially with the hybrid program. So I was really lucky to enjoy the full Syracuse University experience in adjusted COVID sense. But yes. First, I'd like to talk about the orientation leaders. Sherlyn showed a picture a while ago, talking about student life, and there was a picture of orientation leaders, and these are the people who welcome you. I was part of this. I um joined the orientation leaders my sophomore year and my junior year. My sophomore year was very interesting because usually we help out move in, but because of COVID, as you can see in the right side where we're all wearing masks, we can only stay in the entrance of the building and greet people and not help them move in, carry their stuff, touch their belongings. But again, I would say that with the people that I talked to, with the families I talked to, they enjoyed their moving experience despite the restrictions that we had. But then my junior year, as you can see in the left side of the slide, it was a more free orientation week, I would say so, and it was one of the best experiences I've ever had. Welcoming students, taking care of parents, and I can personally say as well, the parents are the ones the most nervous and not the students during this week. And from experience, I would say my mom, when she was about to leave already back to the Philippines, I could see her about to cry. And from that point on, that's why I wanted to become an orientation leader, just to help those parents feel more comfortable that they're leaving their children for 4 years in Syracuse. And that was my motivation to join orientation leader. And again, like these people will welcome you with their whole hearts. And now I know some people who are still orientation leaders, who are freshmen and then became orientation leaders. And it's really something special, I would say so. Second thing to talk about will be college student opportunities. I was in the Whitman School of Management, and I was lucky enough during my last year in Syracuse. They began this program where 20 students, usually 10 MBA students and 10 undergraduate students, would visit Silicon Valley. And the best part of this was you just paid $100 and everything was included already. Hotel, flights, a hotel near Stanford actually, which is very nice. Our flights, our everything, our transportation. We didn't bring out our wallets the whole trip unless we wanted to buy like souvenirs and stuff. But this was one of the best opportunities I would say I got to experience, as we were able to visit the Google campus, the LinkedIn campus, and because you're in Silicon Valley, we also were able to go to venture capitals and also think pads, and launch pads, which was really interesting because we had a balance of these major companies and also to see these venture capitals and launch pads where entrepreneurial ideas are being built and are being supported. And those two perspectives was really nice to see during this opportunity. And as you can see in the top picture on the left, it's us talking to alumni who are based in Silicon Valley already. And this picture, woman beside me and
You
there's a man across me I'm talking to. They're both husband and wives from Taiwan actually, who met in Syracuse. They both majored in supply chain management and now they're married. The husband, I believe, works in Apple as a supply and demand manager, and the wife works in Tesla, which is something very special that I was very thankful and very grateful just to get to talk to these people, the network that the school has, especially with Whitman, and I would say all the other colleges, they have amazing networks. And as you can see, I wasn't even networking with them already. I was just literally just talking to them about food. As international students, I think we all go back to the food when we go back home. And when I talk to them and they were like, oh yeah, I miss this, I miss that. And they're from Taiwan. So they were like, I miss Din Tai Fung. So it was really something special to have that connection with, especially as an international student career-wise in the whole US right now. Um, it's hard during the employment process when you're graduating. So having that support was really something special with from these alumni, and I would say these my mentors now. And I get to talk to them until now, and it's just really something nice to have. Even though I'm already working, but I know that I have future plans, and still having that connection with them is really something special to have. Especially, I plan to pursue my MBA in the future, and these things, the opportunities that Syracuse gives the students is really something nice. With the study abroad programs, I know there's also semesters in New York that you can do, and also like with the public affairs school, I know there's like Washington DC trips, immersion trips. That was really something nice, because they really want you to be immersed to what you're pursuing in the future, and getting to network with everyone is really something important as a professional. Moving on, I would say this is a special place in my heart, which is the Filipino Student Association, or FSA. As you can see, the bottom right photo, those are the first members of FSA. Those are the ones who built FSA. FSA is actually, I would say, already in its seventh year. It was built, I will wait, getting my facts right, 2018, 2019. To events coordinator, to vice president, and president during my last year. This community, I would say, is the most special thing that I've joined. And also, Sherlin's in charge of admissions with Southeast Asia as well. And from that, we also welcome all Southeast Asian students to the Filipino Student Association. And I made sure that that's the core I pass on after I graduated, which is to invite everyone. It's not just for Filipinos, it's not just for Filipino Americans, it's for everyone to be part of. And especially our Southeast Asians, there's no organization yet for Southeast Asian students. There's an unofficial Thai organization, I believe, but Filipino Student Association is the only registered Southeast Asian organization. And I advertise it as a home for everyone. And as you can see on the in this four picture on the top left, those are actually our faculty, our Filipino faculty and staff. This is a connection that I really built before I left. And you can see that woman smiling on the leftmost. That's Dr. Mary Grace Almandres. She is a Filipino who is the VP of Diversity and Inclusivity of Syracuse University. And she joined Syracuse during my last year as well. And I made sure I built that connection with her for the organization and for the future of the organization. And also just to show and showed this campus actually through Mary Grace of Mandres, the beauty of the Filipino culture. And in that picture as well, the guy in the middle with the long hair, he is RJ, our advisor, our faculty advisor for the organization. He's such an amazing person who supported the organization since the beginning, actually. Before after our founders left, in the bottom right picture, there's some guy named Brian Denoso, and he actually helped build FSA in campus. And I'll show you more pictures actually, because my heart will never stop talking about FSA. This was during my last year, and I would say it was one of the most monumental years, not to brag, because we were so active with the campus, we were so active with the faculty and staff that I really wanted to build a connection, make that impact on the community. And I would say those are the opportunities that you get in Syracuse. This making an impact anywhere and everywhere is really something special on Syracuse University. Um we can begin with the picture on the leftmost. This was my final project with FSA. This was the Flores de Mayo banquet. As you know, FSA is a new organization, and I really wanted to put Syracuse out there as other universities in the upstate New York region has a bigger Filipino student association, and that's not something I really wanted for the organization. So I tried my best. We organized the Flores de Mayo banquet, invited everyone, faculty, staff, students from other universities. As you can see in the top right picture, those are students actually, the e-board actually of PAL Binghamton, which is Filipino American League of Binghamton University. And they visited Syracuse one day, and we welcomed them. We had lunch with them. We toured them around. It was really nice. And the funny part about that meetup was that when we were touring them around, that's when we realized Syracuse University has such a beautiful campus, because just to picture it, when they visited, it was covered in snow. But the snow made it so beautiful with the snow falling, the trees, even though they were dead, um, there was some beauty with it. And again, those opportunities, I would say, was the specialty of Syracuse. On the top, on the middle picture on the top, that's the International Food Festival. The international student services are really helpful towards international students. And this is a platform for international students actually to show their culture. They invited all cultural organizations on campus. There's so much cultural organizations on campus. The European Union Student Organization, our favorite South Asian Student Association, which is called SASA. They're the best partners in crime among the Asian organizations for us, and we really love them. There's also Asia, there's also CASA, which is the Korean American Student Association. Um, so there's a lot of culture organizations on campus, but again, that International Food Festival is a platform for for culture organizations to showcase the culture. And this is a competition as well among, I believe, 15 organizations who were invited to join. And during my junior year, we didn't win, but during my senior year, I made sure we won. And the support that organization has. In the middle, the one wearing the lei actually is Sofia Gutierrez. She's a singer. She is part of the Bandier program in the new house, which is like music industry, music production. It's the whole so they are amazingly talented students who are in that program. And she sang Pasilio actually during this program. And she sang it beautifully because we had to do a performance and she did it for us. And that's why we won, I believe. The support that all these people have. They don't fully join the organization every time, but when we need them, when we needed their support, they're always there to support us. And again, we'd have also those little events like Halo Halloween, which we made Halo Halo during Halloween for us, even though the weather was cold. And also, I could talk about our mentorship program in the organization, which is Ate Kuya Ading. So you have your mentors, which is the Ates and Kuyas, and you have your mentees, which is the Adings. And which is really nice to have because before it began Filipino to Filipinos, Filipino Americans to Filipino, just a normal thing. But then during my time, I made sure again, it's Filipinos to Indonesians, Filipinos or Indonesians mentoring Filipinos already or Thai people joining, Asian Americans joining actually. And it's just really something nice to have. And the social life, the student life on campus is really something special. And I'm always a resource, I would say, with my friends actually who are still there, who are also alumni. We always want to help everyone who wants to go to Syracuse or who are interested. So yes, Sherlyn, I think that's it for me.
Thank you so much, Enrique. I appreciate that. Enrique is one of my favorite ambassador. He's been helping me from day one on campus. He's one of the reason why the Filipinos, number of Filipino students on campus keeps on increasing. So I think we're open to any questions. If you have any questions about the university entry requirements, student life on campus, feel free to start asking and we'll be more than happy to answer.
All right. So for one more time, questions will be open to Ms. Sherlyn and Mr. Enrique for any questions regarding Syracuse University. Again, we would like to give thanks to the event sponsors, LIMS Review Center, AUG Student Services, and AECC Study Abroad Consultant. So once again, if you have any questions regarding the universities, you may want to send the in public chat, you might want to unmute, or you would want to chat me or Miss Sherlyn in private in chat, and Miss Sherlyn will be happy to answer the questions. All right. We'll give 2 minutes for questions.
Hi, I have a question. So, um, hmm.
All right, we can start the question now. Oh, yes, Rain, you can start.
Okay, so since I know Syracuse is very famous for its community, the Oranges, what makes the strong sense of community very attractive for aspiring applicants?
I'll let Enrique answer that as a student's point of view, because I'll be biased if I do it. But I'll let you know that I've been with the university since 2011, and part of my role is to reach out to our alums, whichever part of the world I travel. So there's one thing they always tell me that once you become an orange, you'll be forever orange. So once you decided to be part of Syracuse University, no matter where you go after graduation, you'll find your network. Like we have 250,000 of alumni. They're scattered all over the world. Let's say in about 182 countries at the moment. Enrique.
For me, I would say the sense of community would be one, entering Syracuse, it's a big campus. There's a lot of people, but it may feel overwhelming. But again, when you're there, everyone's a student, everyone's part of Syracuse, and the support the professors give, the staff give, the faculty give, those who are older than you in years, in Syracuse is really nice, and that they really encourage your growth. They really want you to feel welcome. Actually, recently, a few months ago, I believe, Sherlyn and Sherlyn made me and another fellow alum host the admitted students. And he is a die-hard Syracuse person. When I entered the office where he hosted, the alumni is like part of Foxmont Capital, which is like a venture capital here in the Philippines. Um, when I entered the office, I saw Syracuse banners in the office, and I was like, "Oh, Franco, you have the banners for the admissions event?" He was like, "No, I've had this banner since the opening of this office." And I was like, "Oh, okay." He loves Syracuse. He loves the basketball. He loves athletics. And I would say, I wasn't an athletics person. I still decided to watch like basketball games and stuff just to enter that stadium and just feeling the energy, the support, even though we know that the basketball, the football team could be a bit rocky, is really something nice to experience. And that's what makes Syracuse a community. To be in the upstate New York, 4 hours away from Manhattan, um they really build that sense of family, that sense of belonging. And I don't think I would have survived being in upstate New York without that. And the support again from everyone was really something nice within the community. So yes.
All right. All right. Okay. I got another question from the chat. It asks, what is the thing that stands out during applications to Syracuse University?
Great. So when I rate applications, I look on different factors. So of course, grades will play a very important factor when we read applications, but it's not just all about grades. We read the essay, believe it or not, we read thousands of applications, but I really enjoy reading essay because based on the essay, we'll have an understanding whether we share the same values, whether we can support you, like do we have the same vision. So that is very important to take a look on your essay, give time to finalize your essay. It's not something you could do overnight, right? And try to be personalized as soon as as much as you can, by probably citing examples like your example like which is related to that particular prompt. And on top of the essay, Syracuse has one supplemental question. So it is more about Syracuse. How well do you know about our university and why did you apply to our university? Based on your answer, we will have an understanding again if we can support your goal, if you really know what we can offer, if you've done your research. So that is something that we are really looking forward into. And I do offer personal interview, like I mentioned earlier. Again, it's not mandatory, but if you are really into our university, take advantage of it. Sign up for the personal interview because it's more on advantage on your part. Why? Because it demonstrates your interest, right? It builds a connection between us. And at the end of the day, when we start, making decisions about merit recipients, we would recommend someone that we know, that who's, replying to our emails. It's not just who's the highest GPA out there. It's someone who can demonstrate the most interest to our university.
All right, thank you. I've received another question from the chat. It asks, so Syracuse University is located in upstate New York. So what's it like living in the area compared to New York City? What's the vibe like in upstate New York?
Yeah, I can start and Enrique can dive in. So upstate New York, we do living in upstate New York, you have the opportunity to enjoy more quiet. Syracuse is city, but in upstate, it's in central New York. It is so different from New York City that we see in the movies all the time. So being in upstate, a small city, you have the opportunity to enjoy the college setting, like what you see in the TV in the movies. Everyone is on campus, they live on campus, all the classes are on campus, everything is walking distance. Unlike in a bigger city where sometimes you need to take a train or commute from your one class to another. So being in a college setting, it will help you to connect easily to fellow students, to all of those, staff, faculty members, because you are in one big open campus. Enrique, do you want to chime in?
Yes, of course. I would say I spent 4 years there, and 2 of those years were like empty years on campus because it was during COVID. So I got to experience like a full experience and also experience a bit more down low experience with the Syracuse campus. But I would say that it's accessible. I liked it. It's accessible to New York City. It's a 4 hour 4 to 5 hour bus ride. It's a 5 hour Amtrak. It's an hour flight. So it's literally like a nice spot to have that balance between academics, social life, and get to experience the US actually. You're 2 hours away from Niagara Falls. There's a beautiful little town, lake town actually near Syracuse, 30 minutes away called Skaneateles, which is one of the most beautiful things on upstate New York. And I would say upstate New York is actually beautiful. The Syracuse city itself, in all honesty, needs a lot of work. But it's a place where with what you're learning in Syracuse University, the Syracuse campus is also helping that community, the city actually. So it's just really something nice. The exposure to the upstate New York area. I would say because during my graduation, even my family and I did a road trip after the graduation ceremonies. We went all the way to Vermont and went to the northeast side of the US, and that was accessible by drive, like a quick drive actually from Syracuse. So it's a really nice balance, actually. That's how I would put it. It's a nice balance. The weather is the extremes. With it can be so hot during the summer because I experienced summer there as well, finishing off my apartment. But the winters can get crazy. But right now, me and my alumni, we were talking about it. Even some of my friends, like who went back home recently, we said we actually miss the snow. We actually miss the cold, for some reason. And I hope it doesn't happen if you're there in Syracuse. But there's a one time where the weather was, it said there in your weather apps, it said felt like negative 30 degrees Celsius. That is crazy to think about. Um, it was 19 degrees Celsius, but the wind was so strong that it made it feel like negative 30 degrees Celsius. And the funny part about that, there were some meetings on campus that was optional. Me and my friends still went. Because we didn't know what to do, just to stay in the apartment or what. But again, at one point, we were like, oh my God, we missed the cold. So the balance that Syracuse, the city, the Syracuse, the university where it's located is such an amazing thing for me.
All right, thank you so much. So I've received another question from the chat. So in Syracuse University, is there a strong Filipino community within the university that could help students, the majority of our demographic is Filipino students, that could help them assimilate in the university?
Enrique, go ahead, because you're the head of the FSA.
I would say so. There is that sense of community within the Filipinos and Filipino Americans. Um, every year, we always ask Sherlyn who's coming in, who are the Filipino students, and from that point on, we already like connect with them. via LinkedIn or via Instagram if they have a LinkedIn, but usually via Instagram. We connect them to our younger members of the organization, of course. And that's how we welcome those Filipino international students or just international students in general, from Southeast Asia, from the Philippines. So the welcoming feeling is always there. It wasn't there actually during my year, so I really had to push my friends, members of organization to welcome these people, and especially now where the Filipino faculty and staff is growing as well, and the fact that the VP of Diversity and Inclusivity is Filipino, it doesn't it makes you feel more at home. I would say the VP, Dr. Mary Grace Almandres, she welcomed us to her apartment in Syracuse, with other Filipino students and Filipino staff. We had adobo, we had all the Filipino food. There's actually a food truck as well in the Syracuse city called Oompa Lumpias, where they serve different kinds of lumpia Shanghai. But they also have like rice bowls, adobo rice bowls, sisig bowls. So sometimes when they're on campus, the line is so long for the Filipinos, but the line is so long in general because everyone in the Syracuse University campus, outside the city, love Oompa Lumpias. So that it might be it won't you won't feel it immediately, but we want to make sure we all will if you talk to Sherlyn, we'll make sure we'll connect you to all these students so that they're there to welcome you. So that's really something nice about the Filipino community. The support is always there.
All right, thank you very much. Are there any other questions that will be asked? If not, I'll post this link, which is the post-college fair form. If you're interested in hearing any of the universities that you've attended, especially Syracuse University, you might want to answer the post-college fair form, which will connect you to the newsletters of the universities. All right. Since there are no more questions, that does it for Syracuse University. Thank you, Ms. Sherlyn. Thank you, Mr. Enrique, for devoting time to present in the college fair, and we appreciate your presence. And for everyone else, we know it may be a bit late for most of you guys today, but camp would like to thank everyone, our participants, speakers, and universities for taking the time and effort to make this day such a success. However, this conference is still far from over, as we have 2 more days of sessions filled with amazing talks and insights from the top minds and universities. So don't forget to stay tuned to your emails or camp's social media below for additional details. Thank you once again, and we hope that we helped each and every one of you through your own uphill journey into the College View Valleys. Thank you very much, everyone. You may now leave the breakout room.
Bye. Thank you.